Welcome back to Dope Discussions with Dick and Dank. I, of course, am Mr. Dank. I've got Dick out of the field and smoking up with me. I got to hit this pipe.
That's some good shit.
Homegrown by you. I appreciate it.
Fuck yes.
Out of the field. He picked his fields, and now he picked his crop at home, and it tastes pretty damn good. But what I did this morning is I put a message out because I think our next evolution for our podcast is to be talking to our listeners, the other growers, people in the industry, and just make us known and make them known because we're a family-friendly community. And what we have here today is Gaugedgrower503, a.k.a. John. He's on the phone with us. We're getting high. He's got the big gauges. I appreciate that. He's true to his name. Man, those are huge. I think you can fit a wrist through there. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, I can just about fit. I can fit more than a beer can in there. Yeah.
Now, I don't need to get started on that, but that, I'm curious by those. I can appreciate that. Just I know it takes time. You put smaller ones in and just gradually get bigger as they stretch, and it doesn't feel any different. Does it hurt as it stretches or?
It kind of depends on how fast you go. Really, some people kind of rush it, and some people like to take their time. I did both. But it's you start small, and I set a goal for like 1 inch when I pierced my ears. I set a goal for 1 inch, and I got there, and I was like, this just doesn't look as big as it used to when I was smaller, and so I just kind of kept going and going and going, and now I'm at the point where they're getting kind of harder to find, and they get a little bit more expensive, and I don't know if I really want to go too much bigger, so I'm kind of happy with where I'm at. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I guess I don't know how much bigger you can get before you just tear apart your earlobe or something. It can only get so thin.
It gets pretty thin. It's crazy. It's skin is an interesting thing. I'll say that it's crazy that it can grow back like to or stretch as much as it has without tearing so far.
Yeah. Well, I guess a pregnant woman, it stretches and goes back, but
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, we're here to talk about weed. How much we love weed. I use it obviously for my daily medicine. Thank you. I ran low, and Mr. Dick Gruesome brought some over for me. I do appreciate it again. And Dick's taking it for his chronic back pain. He likes the pre-rolls. I prefer a bowl, a lot of water pipes. My wife Banjo and I, we're regular users. So why don't we learn about you, John? Tell us about you, how you got started, maybe, what you enjoy most about it, and why you're here today.
Sure. Well, first off, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I've never done anything like this, so this is going to be a little new for me. So if I say anything kind of whack or out of line or anything like that, I apologize in advance. But
no worries.
Yeah.
Here.
So I'm 33 years old now. I started growing when I was about 21 years old. I've been smoking since I was about 14 or so. Funnily enough, my parents put me in a private Christian school to kind of keep me away from steering off the path. And it's lo and behold, it's kind of like putting someone in jail and expecting them to not come out a smarter criminal. So it's. But anyway,
right towards the weed.
So I started smoking, started growing when I was about 21. I went over to a buddy's house to get a bag, and he had a couple clones, and he was like, "Hey, you want to take one of these and try it out?" And I said, "Sure," and took it home. And I had another buddy who just got a little sample line of some nutrients, and he gave them to me. And I didn't know at first that you needed to mix those with water. I thought you just put them in the soil. So I took the nutrients and just put them straight in the soil and just fried the plant like instantly. And then he kind of showed me, he gave me another clone. He was like, no, here's how you get the watering down, and gave me a little tutorial on that. And then ever since then, I was just kind of hooked. Built my own grow box out of like cardboard and like those windshield reflectors that you put on your car windows to keep the sun out.
Yep.
Did that with a bunch of CFL bulbs screwed into the top end, and it worked. It worked for the little setup it was. It wasn't that great of a grow. It wasn't impressed, but I got to the finish line. That was enough for me to want to keep going.
Yeah, you learn the process. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out, like I like to say. Hence this podcast. We just, we got together and said, hey, I want to make a podcast. And I said, you know what? I've been thinking about making a podcast. Well, we both love smoking weed every day. Let's start there. And here we are, talking to people who love weed.
Love it.
Love it. So we're trying to eliminate the stigma. I've taken it for a mental health, back pain. He's doing the same. I'm talking to people that, because I put that message out. You were responded today. I put it on my Instagram. Anybody who wants to get interviewed by Dick and Dank, let us know. And John so kindly said, hey, I got time. Let's do it. So here we are. But there was a couple other people. One was from Germany, replied. Another one's going through stage 4 cancer, but had 6 months to live. But thanks to weed, he's still alive and able to do stuff. He's starting a business in the cannabis industry because it's helped him so much. And I don't know why it's been hidden so long. I want to change it.
Yeah. It's an illness in itself. But I'll start it with this. I've got stage 4 chronic kidney disease, and it changes your whole perspective on the medical industry in itself when you're in the doctor's office that often, and you've got to go through all these tests. And me personally, I can't even take anything like ibuprofen. My kidneys can't handle it. Anything that's like a diuretic and stuff. So I'm pretty limited when it comes to pain tolerance. For me, it's like, excuse me, acetaminophen or Tylenol.
Yeah.
And thankfully, it's recognized. I'm trying to think. I think it's Adventist is the hospital that I go through for my nephrologist. For a transplant, you can't use nicotine, but you can use marijuana. They don't. It's not a stigma thing with them where it's like if you need a transplant, they don't tell you that you necessarily have to stop using marijuana. Because they know they recognize it for having the benefits of pain relief and stuff like that, especially for people like me, which is crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, and same thing. I go to, when I first started using regular, I watched the annual checkup from my doctor, and it's like, well, they didn't say nothing. I'm honest with her. I tell her, and she said, well, anytime you smoke anything, it's not, good for your lungs. Like, well, I get that. So other than that, she had nothing to say. And then the pill doctor prescribing the head pills, she's prescribing a pill that's supposed to mimic marijuana. It's like, well, why am I taking a pill to mimic it? Why can't I just smoke marijuana? It's like, well, that's fine. It's like, well, then fuck, I'm going to stop taking all the pills, and I'm way better since.
Yeah, making something synthetic that's already produced naturally, and then saying, well, you can have this because we made it in a lab. It's because they can profit off of it. It's not something you're not going to have a pill lab in your house to do this with. It's easier to grow a plant than it is to have all that and make it to correct dosage. So yeah, it's one of those, unfortunately, it's one of those things in my eyes where it's a patient cured is a customer lost kind of deal, and they want to they want to throw a bunch of medicine at you, and your body just becomes accustomed to it after a while, and then just
well, I don't
it is
understand
what it is.
why we've ignored the health benefits for so long. I mean, just because it took them that long to make money off it, or they don't want to go back on their word and they said, no, it's bad, it's illegal, and we can't change our mind and look stupid. I don't know what the issue is, but we're here finally. We're over what we said. Over half the states have legalized, definitely medical for sure. I know it's like 3/4, I think.
Right. It's all the above.
Yeah.
It's for every reason you listed.
Yeah. We're here though, and that's why. And what we said is going to the dispensary for your first time. It's like going to the liquor store when you turn 21. You're like, what the fuck is all this? I don't know what dabs are. I know sand and sugar and resin and all that shit. Like, people are clueless. So we want to talk about it. I prefer flower. He's buying the pre-ground. I like the infused shakes because I like to smoke a bowl and go right up and stay there. And he likes to casually smoke the pre-ground, just kind of like an all day. And then here I hit it and go back to whatever I'm doing, and then I can just come back every couple hours.
Yeah, and you're using it for more, it sounds to me, to be like therapeutical. You're not just sitting there trying to get loaded, you're trying to use it to benefit you. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can do both. If it's a Saturday night and I got nowhere to go, like, fuck, hit the water pipe a couple times hard, and that's a good time. 100%.
Yeah, it's interesting to think that there's still people who try to hide behind the fact of they try to use the excuse of it being medicinal in order to like have some validation for what they're doing, when they could just say, I like to smoke fucking weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like saying I like to drink beer. It's like, okay, okay, nobody cares, it's just weed, man, so.
Yeah, right. That's why I tell everybody I talk to.
Yeah,
that
I'm completely open and honest, I don't like to necessarily smell like it, because that's the one, thing that everybody bitches about is the smells. Like, I get it. I can't smell it because I smoke it, but yeah, and I get that, just like cigarette smoke, people don't like that. So I can understand not smelling it. I can understand not being able to do it in stores, but indoors. But I don't want to be able to be out front, like a smoker's break. I want to be out front smoking weed and nobody gives a shit,
Sure.
And you're not there yet.
Yep. There's I think it worked. There's also a line for some people in productivity, I guess. I've worked in kitchens for 15 years. And so you see, every kind of substance use under the sun in there.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, weed is definitely the least harmful of all of them, right? It's not gonna impact you like anything else is going to. But there's definitely some people who like they'll take advantage of it, and it turns into a problem for a second. But for the most part, it helps a lot on the line with like keeping a level head. It's
Yeah.
really easy to get lost, and when you get that 6 o'clock rush and everyone's ordering at the same time and everybody wants their food now, and you got all these refires you got to make and stuff. It's like we just kind of takes that edge off. We're like, oh, okay, I got to refire something cool instead of being like pissed about it.
Right. So what I say, it puts you in the moment. It makes everything better. So it gets all the other shit out of my head, so I can just focus on that customer or what I'm doing, and nothing else is really floating around in there because I'm just in the zone. I like to take it when like I'm mowing, and man, I just love mowing and shit. Getting the lines right. You're out there outside. You're in the moment, enjoying it instead of fuck. Kid didn't mow the lawn. Now I'm out here fucking doing it. I could be doing this. All that shit.
Sure.
Yeah.
I even, I can admit sometimes I don't like to smoke at home by myself sometimes just because I get stuck in my head, and then you
Yeah.
get a little paranoia creeps in or something like that. I like
Yeah.
to be productive when I'm high. I like to smoke something and then just go to work and be like, okay, I'm going to roll dough for the next hour and talk to
Exactly.
a couple people and everything's fine.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's and then I'm in customer service and people are pissed off and they're angry all day. And now I can smoke weed and say, I get it. I feel you. I'd be mad too if I was you, but you know what? This is what I'm going to do to help you because there's no reason to get upset.
Yeah.
And it makes my job a lot easier.
It's all love.
It's all love. It's like, I get it.
It's
You're
all love,
pissed, but
man.
it's in the past. Stop living in the past. What can we do right now? Smoke weed, I say.
I agree.
Yeah. Take a chill pill. Yeah, I was looking at your guys' at your website and whatnot for the podcast, and I seen one of you guys was in a pretty gnarly car wreck. It looks like that van was like all messed up. What happened with that?
Yeah, so that's me, Mr. Dank. That was again at this job, but coming home on Interstate 80, and traffic was stopped. You can't really see anything, and I can't remember the accident, but apparently there was already an accident. Traffic was stopped, but it just started moving. I pop over this little hill and slammed into the back of a parked semi, basically. Just creeping, and then I tried to swerve at the last second. They can say, and they said I was even trying to get out of the car. But I can't. I can remember leaving, and that drive I made 100 times, 1,000 times. So that's a blur. But then I can remember where I had lunch, leaving, and then the next 3 weeks I can't remember anything.
Jesus Christ!
I woke up in a hospital with a little camera on a little metal tripod telling me to sit down as I'm trying to pee at a bathroom 2 feet from me. It's like, sit down. It's like, what the fuck? I just got to pee. It's like, you need to sit down because I got a cast on my leg, a cast on my arm. Apparently, I'm a fall risk. And this is the first thing I remember. I was like, it's a little fucked up. And didn't question it. I was just like, I got to pee.
Something bad happened. I got to just like take it for what it is. Yeah.
Right. It's like, I don't know what the fuck happened. It's just, I got to pee. And then, I don't know. I think it's the brain maybe subconsciously. I knew, but I didn't know. And the swelling's down or whatever, and I don't know, they had just taken the feeding tube out of me or something, but yeah, and then physically I recovered, and mentally it's taken 6 years. That happened in 2018. It's taken 6 years for me to get to this point, and it took weed to do it. And now I got to tell everybody what the fuck weed can do you.
Yeah. Well, thankfully you're still here, man. I saw that and I was like, man, that looks really gnarly. So someone's looking out for you for sure. That's good that you're still alive and kicking in, and you're here doing this and getting the word out now. Because that looks like a scary situation to be in.
Traumatic brain injury. Had my head flayed open. My arm went through the windshield like almost up to my shoulder, and then broke my right ankle and my wrist.
Did you get hit from what side did it hit you at?
It was me hitting the semi, and then all my injuries on the right side of me because they could tell I tried to swerve at the last second. So either, I don't know if it pisses me off that I can't remember it because I don't know for the life of me if I just have to know if it was my fault, if I was looking at my phone, if I was changing the radio, was I pissed off about something else? I clearly wasn't focused on driving, or did I just look down for a second and look the fuck up doing 80 on 80 and boom, traffic's not going anywhere because I couldn't see the brake lights, You look up, no brake lights, look down, and then bam.
Dang.
But I can't remember.
It just happens just like that.
Just like that.
Yep. It's crazy. I got hit by a drunk driver when I was out in Arizona, and really odd situation. It's yeah, you know, you ever pull up to a stoplight, it's like a four-way intersection or something, and the light turns red just because you pulled up to it. There's literally no other cars on the road,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I'm looking to my left at the other light to wait for it to turn yellow so I drive a manual, so I'm going to start letting off the clutch, and I see the light turn yellow, and then I look ahead and I'm like, okay, about to start going, and as I'm looking forward, I see headlights in my rear view mirror, and it was just too late to react, and I just got fucking smoked right from behind. They said I was in a small like 2007 Scion TC, and they said that she hit me at about 55 miles an hour. My car did a full 180 through the whole intersection, and my shoes flew off my feet, dude. It was wild.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Yeah. I came to. I don't know. I felt the car, the whole thing turn around. My seat gave out, and then yeah, my shoes were off my feet somehow, and I couldn't figure. They were like in the back seat, and the whole back of the car was fucked. She was in like a giant SUV, right? And so she ended up between like the stop sign and the in this pole. Anyway, she was lit, and yeah, I got a pretty gnarly concussion. But one of those things where I was like, man, I can't believe I was able to walk away from that. Like it was just insane the fact that I was still conscious after that whole thing. Because looking at it, you're just like, dude, like how
What
the fuck? You
fuck? Yeah, absolutely.
How long ago was that?
I want to say that was like 5-ish years ago. About 5-ish years ago. I was in my like late 20s when that happened. Yeah, I was just
I got you.
young buck.
I got you. Where are you at now, or do you want to say?
I live in Oregon now. I live out in Portland.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
So
I just did a little stint down in Arizona. My folks live down there, and my mom actually, oddly enough, she had double breast cancer, and which it's so crazy how this all winds itself back up because my mom was very against weed growing up, and then she got cancer, and she was like all gung ho about weed all of a sudden, which good that she finally caught on to it. It was sad that she had it, but she beat it, and I'm really thankful for it. And now she's super cool with weed, and it's fucking rad because growing up she was very against it, and I was in trouble constantly. So to see the tables kind of turn on that was really something to see.
Maybe we could talk to her one day too. Get her
That would be cool.
Yeah. If she wants to, let us know. I'd be happy to.
How far are
Sure.
you from Crescent City, California? Oh, you're in Portland. You said.
Portland.
Yeah, I'm in Portland. Yeah, California just in itself is about depending on which route you take, it's like 4 to 6 hours south of here. And then Crescent City, I'm not even sure where that is in California, to be honest.
Oh, it's in the upper corner.
Upper corner. Yeah, it's probably about an 8-hour drive, I would imagine. Then
I got you. I forgot that you had told me that you're from Portland.
So, oh, that's okay.
Yeah, we took my wife and I took our boys to see the Redwoods this summer. So
very cool.
Yeah, and then when we came home, she's like, "Hey, if we take the northern route, it's only going to add 4 hours." So we went up and saw Mount Rainier and all that stuff, and then came back to the Midwest. So
gotcha. What part of the Midwest are you guys from?
We're in the Illinois area, Iowa area.
So I'm curious, being in Oregon, the prices for weed locally versus what we're paying here. We're paying still about $55 for an eighth.
Yep.
Okay. In a dispensary?
Yeah.
Yep.
And is that what quality is that? Like top shelf?
It's upper mid range probably.
Upper mid.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
That's the only shit I can.
That's it's interesting. The market is so interesting over here. Right now, I'm gonna say average price for a quality eighth, you go about like $30 to $35 for a quality. So like a mid to upper. There's still places that'll charge you like $50-$60 an eighth. But I mean, it also depends on the shop that you go to too. Some places have some super fire stuff for like $25 an eighth. And even that'll get classified if you're going from like an A bud or a B bud to a C bud to the small. So, there's like tiers for those too. We do a lot of, the market's changed a whole lot though. And so when this first went recreational out here, the first dispensary I worked at, the most I'd seen us pay for like a pound of indoor at the time. And this is when LEDs were like brand new on the market. Like not a lot of people grew with them, right? So it was still all HPS, and we were paying $3,000 a pound. I'm not going to say from who, but they're still around, and they put out phenomenal stuff. I mean, we paid $3,000 for a reason. But now I've seen same quality stuff go for as low as like $1,800 a pound. It really depends on the rep that you're talking to and like kind of the rapport that you have with them and the connections that you have, and also your knowledge of dispensaries and what other dispensaries in your area carry, because you can go down the street, you'll have like 4 dispensaries on one street, right, and they've all got the same product, but they're all priced differently, and it's because of the reputation that they have with the rep from the company. And that even it determines if it's from like a middleman, or if it's straight from the company themselves. Like if you have like an archive rep in there versus somebody who goes through like a third party, the prices vary a lot out here for some things. You can swing for like one product between 4 dispensaries. You could swing from like $25 to $40 an eighth between 4 dispensaries for the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that because I was going through the apps trying to, because it's
the Leafly
app. Yeah, that's what I usually ordered from, and I wanted to stock up because we drove, so I was going to drive back, and whatever it is, whatever the price is out there, it's still a hell of a lot better than it is back here. So
yeah,
but it was really hard to find the place to get good prices.
Now the quality, how did you feel about the quality from what you got out there versus what you can get here?
Oh, Oregon is
way better.
Oh yeah,
way better. Okay.
Way better.
Now compared to what you're growing,
my stuff's better. But I don't know if that's because I grow it or because and I'm biased.
I enjoy your stuff, but
it seemed right on par with what I got out in Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because it's right there. It's fresh. It's grown. You control everything, and you control the quality of your own product. You're a farmer.
Yeah. Now, can you guys sell privately in Oregon?
Not privately, no. It used to be back in the day. I think there's like one way that you can go about it. I know that back in the day, if you were an OMMP card holder, you were able to sell to a dispensary at like a certain amount per like month or year, something like that. And then they did away with that once the rec market came through, because a lot of dispensaries it was either you were medical or recreational, and then they just kind of both merged. And so now I think the rule is that you have to have been a grower since 2007 and have had a valid grow the entire time in order to still be able to sell to a dispensary privately. But that's like, there's like nobody in Oregon who has that.
I gotcha. Well, I had read in the news that California passed a law that you can sell it at farmers markets. So I didn't know if Oregon, and I don't know when that goes into effect. I don't know if it's real or
crazy.
some. Yeah, I don't know if it's real or some bullshit I read. I think it's real. But anyway, I know Oregon was pretty early on this too, so I didn't know if you guys could do that or.
It would be nice. I mean, it's crazy because I'm trying to think of how to put it into words. It's like everyone's got really, really good weed out here. So it's like, who can get rid of the best for the lowest price? It's kind of like, that's kind of how cutthroat it is out here anymore. And everybody gets their like 15 minutes of fame in the shop, like Resin Ranchers or Archive or some of the big name people. And then, 3 months from then, it's the next new wave of this new strain that this person's got. It's kind of like a constant, it's like seasonal almost,
I gotcha. So what do you do then? Are you in that business?
Kind of. So I'm actually about to go back to take a lead position at one of the dispensaries that I used to work at here coming up next week, which is going to be kind of fun. But I've worked in dispensaries before. I've worked in commercial grow ops before. And I know a lot of people in the industry out here through that. I started out as a bud tender when I was like 23. I want to say it was my first bud tending job, 23 or 24.
Okay.
And from there, I kind of moved up into like intake and deliveries and all that kind of stuff. And then getting to meet because back then they didn't have a bunch of middle like third party reps coming in to sell you stuff. It was like people straight up from the company. So you got to meet the owners and stuff a lot.
Oh, cool.
Like Catherine Self from Selfmade, super sweet lady. You get to know them on like a personal level. Now you're just talking to reps a lot.
Right.
So it's a little different.
It's less personal.
Yeah, it's less personal. I mean, you can still make a good connection with that rep and they'll remember you and whatnot, and maybe working out a deal is good there. But back in the day, I feel like there was just, you got a little bit better of a hookup if you knew the person directly.
I gotcha. So, okay, so somebody's listening to this podcast and they're like, "All right, I think I'm going to try smoking weed." What's your
Mhm.
recommendation? What does the average Joe that's never smoked need to do when they come in to see you or one of your bud tenders?
So first, what I'm trying to figure out, okay, so if you've never smoked weed before, it kind of like depends on what you're in it for, right? So like if you just want to smoke it because you're curious to find out what it's all about, I'm going to recommend that you start at something that's um it's going to smell good at least, because you want to have like a good experience with it first. You're not just going to go buy some bunk stuff and be like, I smoked it to smoke it,
Yeah.
and
You want to
yeah,
enjoy it, and you want to make sure
yeah,
they enjoy it.
yeah. So you hook them up with something that smells good and it looks nice, and then but you don't want to go like too overboard with it and give them something that's going to be a little too strong, because you don't want to give them a panic attack the first time, or something like that. Honestly, I don't know about you guys. I didn't get high the first 2 or 3 times I smoked weed. It took me like, I think like my fourth or fifth time to smoke before I even got high. And I was kind of like determined. I was like, I don't understand why people smoke this. But once I did, then, it was kind of like, then you start developing a preference, so you just kind of like, you kind of gently be like, here's something, try this, and just keep at it until you feel it, and you'll know if you like it or not. And then once they do, then they can kind of be like, oh, this was what I liked about it. And then you can kind of guide them from there. Say that they liked, that they laughed more. That's usually like one of the things I feel like I experienced when I started smoking. I laughed at like everything. So if I want something that's going to make me laugh more, I'm
Yep.
going to lean a little bit more on the sativa side, maybe something like a Blue Dream or something like that kind of gets you, get that Jack Jaw going, or like a Jack Herrera would be good too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
you recommend like maybe a pre-roll? So you don't have
Yeah,
to mess
totally.
with
I would
trying to
actually, yeah,
pack
that
it
would
and
probably
shit?
be the ultimate way to do it. Yeah, because trying to teach somebody how to smoke a bowl for the first time is just kind of like, you
Right.
know,
But if they
teach them
want
what
the
the
whole
carb is. And
experience, then you got to sell them a grinder and everything. But
Right.
yeah, and then next thing you know, they're $40 invested into
right.
something, and it doesn't get them high the first time, and they're like, I just spent $40 for nothing, and you turn them off to it. So yeah,
My
pre
wonderful
rolls.
wife, Banjo, it was Christmas with her family there, and I opened a gift, and she gives me a grinder, and she gave me a bowl. It was like, holy shit! And we didn't even really smoke weed then. We had like a couple of times, like, all right, it's go
Sure,
time, and a hitter box, I think, or something. But yeah,
Nice.
it's
sure.
go time. It's like I got a right wife.
You got lucky.
I did indeed. But it just escalated from there, and now it's daily use. And tell the doctors I use it, and I love it. And now I want to tell the fucking world. So
Yep.
If you don't mind me asking, what's the age range that you guys are in?
So I'm 46. I'm Dick, and I'm 46.
Dank is 48.
Yep.
Thanks for you. So do you guys consider yourselves to be like I guess because you said you've just started smoking, right? It was just in the last few years, huh?
Yeah.
So because I find it interesting. There's a lot of these old heads. What do you guys think about the percentages? Do you guys, when you go to a dispensary and get something, do you guys look at percentages like THC or CBD, any of that kind of stuff, or
I do.
how do you guys shop for it?
I buy highest THC. I just figured get my money's worth. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I used to, but my buddy Daily.Homegrown on Instagram, he started talking to me about that, and he's like, "Hey man, I don't really look at anything over 20%." He
Mhm.
said, what he's found is anything above 20%, you kind of start getting, less bang for your buck. And whether that's in your head or if it's real or not, that's kind of what I do, and it seems to be pretty accurate. So I
Sure,
stick around that 20, 18 to 22% probably.
sure.
So
So if I could put a little bug in your ear about this,
yeah,
it's one of those things where if you've been in the industry and you've been smoking for a long time, you kind of know that no, the numbers isn't really a thing. If you've ever gotten your weed tested in Oregon, you know that the numbers are just kind of a gimmick. I got my stuff tested once when I was like 24, and this is when I stopped believing in the numbers. I had, dude, like the most chronic looking fucking shit, and I sent it in. I was like, this stuff's gonna test at like 30%. Dude,
uh-huh.
it came back and tested at 16%, and I was like, I've seen stuff look so much worse than this come back at like 26, 27%. And so that for me right there was just like,
So
like
looks
something's
don't
wrong.
match THC. Now, smoke when you smoke them. How much difference do you notice?
A bit. Well, so there's a way to look at it, right? So a lot of these buds, when they get sent in for testing, these are like fresh off the plant, like they've been barely dried enough to smoke, and they're getting sent in. Well, the THC is still fresh, right? So the way
Yep.
that a trichome works is it starts out as clear where there's nothing inside the head, and then it turns to a milky white, and that's your THC, and then it breaks down even further into a cannabinoid called CBN, and it turns amber, right? And so over time, that THC breaks down and turns amber, and it turns into CBN. So the longer that flower sits, it's losing its potency from the THC and becoming more stony and gaining more CBN. So if you test something that's fresh, it's going to come out with a higher THC content. But if it's been sitting for a year, that percentage has gone down at least 10, if not 15% sometimes.
That makes sense. Makes sense. It's got a shelf life.
It's kind of important when you're shopping, if they have it available, to look at like a harvest date so that you know how old the stuff is that you're smoking.
And I noticed that on the jars too. They put the harvest date.
Yep.
So then, obviously, and then you're noticing a bigger difference on enjoyability versus how fresh it is. Fresher the better. Yeah.
The fresher, the better. Well, and it's going to be more true to the effect that you're looking for, right? Because so what CBN does is it's that sleepy, stony, heady effect. So if you got something that was supposed to be a sativa, like a sour diesel, right, and you want it to be uplifting, but it's been sitting around for a year, you're smoking CBN, and even though you bought it to get yourself uplifted, it's just going to sink into the couch. So the fresher it is, the more true of an effect it's going to have to its name.
The terpenes are more fresh.
All right. And that's what I want education on, is the terpenes of, for what I want focus during the day and when I want to be funny at night or when I want to sleep. I take indicas to go to sleep. That's usually about the only time I smoke an indica. Unless sometimes I might mix it with a sativa during the day to kind of get a little relax and happy time. But I don't know. I play around. I'll make a bowl and put in some of the dablicator. I learned about the dablicator, which is handy. Put a little dab in there and mix in the flour. But if I just want that extra high,
Yeah, you can get like a Puffco or something like that. Puffcos are pretty handy to have. The little electric or the little dabber rigs.
Yeah. See, I haven't tried. I got the one that just holds your vape cartridge, but I need to.
Oh, I got you. Sure. Yeah.
Well,
before I forget, what is your YouTube channel? Just so we can promote that.
It's Gaugedgrower503, same as my Instagram handle.
And that's with a D, Gauged Grower.
Yeah,
503.
Gauged Grower 503.
And so what Mr. Dick's trying to say, we downloaded this Zoom today, and apparently I have a free trial where I got to upgrade to Pro and pay money. So I have 3 minutes left on my free trial, apparently. But is there anything that you want to say to promote you, your brand, your sites, or anything that you're doing before we run out of time?
If there's anything I could say right now, to be 100% honest, man, is that everybody needs to start loving each other, and we need to stop looking at the world as a left or right. Either you're with us or against us kind of mentality, and we all need to learn to just love each other and get along, because it's the only way we're going to get out of the mess that we're in. And we're pretty deep in a hole, dude, and we need to get out badly. And that's the only message I want to have.
Fuck yeah, dude. I agree 100%.
I couldn't agree anymore.
The
100%.
timing couldn't be more perfect.
I love it. Well, you're awesome. I appreciate that you responded to me on Instagram, because I'm not very good at the social media, but I don't even know what the hell the note is, but I put out, hey, anybody want to get interviewed today? And he just happened to be come over. He's like, well, perfect. You're available. We're available. Let's do this. So I really appreciate it. Spread the word. DICK&Dank.com.
You're cool as shit, dude. We got to do this again for sure.
Absolutely. We'll keep you down, and we'll reach out again.
Right on, guys. I appreciate you having me on. It was really nice to talk to you.
Hey, it's good to talk to you, brother.
All right, have a good one.
See you, buddy.
There's a place that'll make you glad. Tell you stories that you want to hear. Like what snacks go with beer. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. DICK&Dank.com. 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 You wanna laugh like eating snacks that'll give you gas. You wanna go Dick&Dank, that's the show. DICK&Dank.com. Or something.
I like it.
Yeah,
that's
I
perfect.
think that fucking went great. He was awesome.
He was awesome.
That was-
And a bud tender.
Fuck
I must
yeah.
have missed when he said it. But
He had fucking knowledge.
man, that couldn't have went out of random. And this is why I like the internet.
Right.
It goes to everybody.
Right.
And it was just, hey, he's like, oh, I got time. It's like,
Right.
all right.
Yeah, and
Dude,
he
fucking awesome.
Knew his shit.
Yep. That's
Gaugedgrower503. Thank you, John.